Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, what we're going to work on is Unit 4, Lesson 20 and Lesson 21. So let me go ahead and explain this to you. Don't forget, you need to have this information either in your tablet or in your notebook. And if you're writing this information down in your notebook, don't forget that you need to write down the title, Unit 4, Lesson 20, and today's date. Okay, let's start with lesson 20. It's called How Does the Top Tank Fit? Right here, what you guys are going to learn is how to use the word to and enough. Don't forget that any extra information that I mentioned will be added to the Moodle platform. So don't forget to go back to your Moodle platform and check that information out. I'm going to upload some videos and a couple of charts so that can help you understand the topic. Let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says, listen to the conversation, then circle the correct description. So what you're doing is you're listening to how the clothes fit this young lady. Don't forget that if you need to listen to this a couple more times in order to understand it, feel free to do so. Now, let's go to number 2. Number 2 says, listen to the possible conversations. Act out a similar conversations about clothes. You can't act it out just because you guys are at home, but I still want you to write down the conversation in your notebook. Now, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 talks about sense verbs. Now, this sense verb, I'm going to go ahead and add a link to a video on YouTube so you can go ahead and check that out to get a little bit of more information about what this means. But let me explain what you have to do. It says listen to the possible conversations and imagine you're wearing something new today. Okay? Now, don't forget that you have a little chart here on the side and it kind of explains what the sense verbs are. Don't forget it's sense verbs and adjectives. Now, I want you guys to look at number 4. We're going to go ahead and skip number 4 and go straight to lesson 21. Lesson 21 says compliment someone, talk about the past. The past of B. Now, in order for me to explain what the past is, I'm going to upload a PowerPoint. And with that PowerPoint, I want you guys to go ahead and do that first. So before you start lesson 21, go check out that PowerPoint. With that PowerPoint, it's complete with all the information, so you don't have any more questions about how is the past of the form B. All right? Once you have checked that out, you can come back and continue working on lesson 21. It says, compliment someone. Find the 2 conversations, write number 1 or number 2 on each line. Listen to check your work. So right here we have 2 different conversations. We have a couple of friends checking out some sunglasses, and then we have a couple of guys that are talking about probably a gym bag. Okay? So, number 1, those sunglasses look good on you. You write a number 1 because it's talking about the first conversation the ladies are having right here on the side. You're going to write number 2 because you're talking about the second conversation. That's a nice bag. So you know you're not talking about the sunglasses. You're talking about the gym bag. Alright? Now, if we continue, your study frame, don't forget that study frames are always to be copied and written down on your notebook. And number 3, it says complete the conversation with the past form of B. Listen to check out your work. So in order to do this, you need to play the listening. And you would finish with number 4. Number 4 says, imagine you're not at school. Answer your classmate's question. Explain where you were. Right here, once again, I want you guys to create your own conversation. Alright? Now, don't forget that if you guys have any questions or if you need some help, go ahead and send me a message. Okay? And that would be all for today.